Hello from GNature.com. This is Mark Josie. Today I would like to do a review and show you this pistol here. It's a paintball marker or paintball pistol, whatever. Yeah, so it's 43 caliber and one of the RAM combat pistol, RAM pistol. So RAM stands for Real Action Marker, and it's supposed to be a training weapon for the law enforcement or whatever to like train with similar weapons to their firearm. And so this one obviously kind of looks like a Glock, but it's like a lot of features are not like a Glock, so maybe that's why they didn't get sued. Who knows, right? So the whole lower frame is kind of not very Glocky. You see this right here is slanted upward, and also the trigger guard is not the same. Also, this grip has a very, I don't know what you call it, like a kind of texture that kind of pops up, and the sight is not really Glocky. It's kind of weird. So yeah, it just looked like a mutated Glock, whatever. Anyway, so this video I will have no shooting done, but I will talk about some very important factors that you may not know, and a lot of people were confused or mistaken because of the marketing and a lot of false information out there about this gun. Especially some people say, hey, I can use this for self-defense, and I'm going to gear at that point and tell you why it can and why it cannot and such and such. Okay, first of all, let me do a little rundown of the pistol. So this is the pistol, metal slide, and I think polymer or something, plastic lower frame. Okay, very realistic looking. Obviously, this thing is the CO2 tube, which is the most unrealistic part. But besides that, everything is very realistic, especially when you cock. See the way how it go back, it's a very strong recoil feeling, like a very strong spring inside. Right here, the ejection port, you can see 43 cal. So basically, they already tell you that it's not a real gun. Okay, the sight, you have the white, not even a dot, it's a white line, and then this is a white dot. So it's very easy to see in the dark. The gun, the first impression, when you take it out of the box, first thing is, whoa, this is heavy. And yeah, anyone picks up a gun, if you don't have this tube here, okay, let me take this out. So this is the CO2 tube that you put the 12 gram CO2 in, okay. If you don't have this, and you don't have this, okay, just like that, when you just pick it up, it looks like, wow, you're really picking up a firearm. It feels like that way. Especially when you look in here, the 43 cal and caliber and 45 caliber is really, really alike. Like, you know, the real bullet, 45 caliber, 45 ACP. It looks really alike. The bore size, you see? And when you look into it, you can't even, like with an airsoft gun, you can see very tiny hole in here, inside this outer barrel, right? Air gun, airsoft gun is 6 or 4.5 mm. You can see that there's an inner barrel inside that is smaller, and right away, when light shines by, okay, you can see the brass or stainless steel barrel inside that black outer barrel. And that's what gives off the realism. So if you are experienced with that, someone point the gun at you with the hand right here. You cannot see it, okay? Point the gun at you. Right at the first glance, if your eyes can see a little bit of reflection of a smaller barrel inside this big barrel, you know it's fake right away. But this one, oh my God, like, you look at it, you can't even see there's any sort of inner barrel. There's no inner barrel inside. And if you look very closely, there's a brass tubings, or whatever you call that, barrel inside. Okay, there is a barrel. But then the barrel is not really like an airsoft kind of barrel, that kind of size. So when you look at it from the front, it's very concealed. You cannot tell that this is a fake gun or a training gun. Okay? It's really obvious that it's just like a 45 caliber. Okay, from far away, you can't really see. It's like a 45 caliber pointing at you. So realism wise, it's really amazing. The only thing is the mag and the tube will give off all that realism. Okay, if you show the gun like this, it will look really fake because you have this big knob, big steel 2 screw knob here. Okay, so when you hold it, it's best to go like that to hide that part, and it will look very realistic from far away. Okay, from a distance. Okay, that's the first impression. It's like, wow, very realistic, and the weight is very heavy. It's like when you hold it, it's heavier than the Airsoft VTech G19C. It's heavier than, I don't know, like the feeling of it is heavier than the Tiberius D8.1. Really, like when you hold it, the feeling of that metal is very sturdy. Okay, I'm not sure how strong the metal is, but the weight is definitely there. Okay, you can feel the weight. It's a very solid gun. Okay, so the first day I get it, which is today, what I did was I opened up the gun and I tuned up the velocity to reach the maximum. So I did that 3 or 4 times already, taking the gun apart and then tuning the internals. And I find that I found the sweet spot right now, or you can say the maximum power spot right now, without the gun malfunctioning. So let me tell you what it is about first, okay? First of all, this gun shoots 45 caliber paintballs, or you can shoot powder balls, or you can shoot rubber balls, whatever balls that is 43 caliber. Okay. You load the balls in the mag, which is metal, fully made of metal, very, very sturdy. You can plug balls in from here, from the top, just like a real gun. It holds 9 rounds. And I do not find a way to pre-chamber one round first. So it's only 9, not 10. So it's 9 rounds. I can't really do the +1. The slide is very sturdy. You can see it. Okay, very sturdy slide. And this gun, this model shoots only in double action. Okay, so you basically have to cock the gun first, and then when you shoot, it will blow back and boom, like that. Okay. The trigger is metal, and the safety is very easy construction right here. You see right here, there's a dot on the trigger. You press that dot, and it will block the trigger from going backward because of how the frame is designed. Okay, there's a little thingy here, a groove on one side and no groove on the other side. So when you push the trigger over, press the safety over to the other side, it doesn't block the frame and you can move the trigger. If you put it on the other side, it blocks the trigger from going into the frame, and that's what made it safe. Okay, so basically the safety is very easily understood. Like when you look at it, you know how it works already right away. There's not much chance to fail with this kind of safety. Okay, and also there's a slide release right here. So basically your slide will lock back on the last shot. You see how stiff it is? Okay. On the last shot, it will lock back. You need to pull and go like that. You see how strong that spring is inside? Okay, it's very strong. Okay, so metal upper, polymer lower, metal trigger, and metal slide catch. Okay, everything is pretty nice. It feels very nice in hand. There's a rail right here that you can mount your, I don't know where my light went. Oh, light. Mount your light. This is a NC Star tactical light with a quick disconnect. So basically, quick detach. Snapped on like that. It looks very, very cool. And I think this model of NC Star light fits very well. You can see the size. Okay, it fits very well. So let me just turn it open and let you see. Okay, with your index finger, you can turn on the light. And with my other finger right here, you can turn it off. Okay, so just a little bit of demonstration. You can go like that, point, and your index finger right here, you can turn on the light and shut it. See, boom, 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 and turn on. So basically, it's a very nice size, and also like it really do resemble the Glock. You may think that this model of light with the head right here going out a little bit is not good. You want to like make it more compact and go backward, right? So you don't want this thing sticking out. But keep in mind that this is a pointy tip with lots of pointy stuff sticking out. This is actually for attacking. So when your gun is out of ammo, in reality, you're supposed to have this as a secondary weapon. So you can go stab at a guy like that, and if this is not sticking out, you will hammer your barrel onto the guy. Right now, you can smash on something and it won't hit your barrel, right? So only the head of the flashlight will hit your enemy. Anyway, okay, so now talking about velocity. Online, you'll see a lot of false information. Not really false, but a misleading information. So a lot of people were saying that this gun can shoot 250 to 300 FPS, and then they go, oh my god, that is so powerful. And then they go, hey, they say the law enforcement only version can shoot up to 350 FPS. And then like people were thinking, hey, if I can get a law enforcement version, it'll be so powerful, I can use it for self-defense, it's going to hurt people, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, first of all, you need to make sure you know how people actually chrono this gun. The thing is, this thing is made in China or something, and the thing is, they don't give you exact, honest chrono result. Okay, they use paintball that is weighted at 0.5 gram or even less. So those paintball, they're very light. Some of the paintball are even 0.4 something gram. So very light, lightweight paintball. So it's like shooting a very lightweight pellet in a pellet gun. You get higher FPS. When you put a normal weight stuff in there, it's just lower FPS. So FPS does not equals to power. The power is muscle energy. It's depending on your FPS, the velocity, and also the projectile's mass. So if you shoot, say, these. Okay, let me grab you a few example. 43 caliber rubber balls from RAV4. Okay, these weigh 1 gram each. So that's double the weight. Okay, when you plug these into the gun, you will see velocity drops like crazy, like by half or something. And then you're like, oh my god, I cannot reach that velocity. Right. So online, I saw another video, one guy doing a review of his Ram combat pistol, brand new, and didn't twist the velocity knob yet. He's getting, like with paint, he's getting one average of 220, 225 something FPS with paintballs. And that's exactly like about the kind of claim that RAV4 made, 250 FPS with paintball. That's what RAV4 say, okay, 250 FPS. And then they will say law enforcement version will get up to like 350 or 300 FPS, okay? Okay. So what's the power? Actually, if you calculate the muscle energy in joules, okay, 220 is about 1.1 joules. That's very weak. So if you put one of these rubber balls in, you have like less than 200 FPS. You have like 150 or whatever, like very, very low FPS, okay? So to adjust the velocity, it's very easy. And basically the law enforcement version and the normal people version is the same gun. What they did is they take the gun apart and adjust that velocity screw to higher velocity so that it can shoot out more power, and then they will put a sticker over that thing so that you cannot see that hole, and then they put it back and shot a gun. So basically you can do that yourself, okay? So take the gun apart, just like I did. There are 2 pins to hammer out, one here, 2 pins, okay? Hammer them out, and you can take the gun apart. And then inside there's a screw right here behind the trigger, a little hole. You take a hex key or Allen key to turn clockwise to tighten it up to increase velocity. And then you counterclockwise turn it to decrease velocity. So I found that the first twist is very much like you can feel the gun is it's firing harder, okay, the snappier blowback, and also the first shot I get with rubber balls is 318, 316. So that's very powerful. 4.8 joules. 4.8 joules compared to the 1.1, you bet, right? And then as I shoot more, okay, it goes like 318, and then boom, 296, and then boom, 286, boom, 264, boom, and then it's like the last shot you're down to like 230, 220. It dies out so fast. The CO2 gets cold so fast. Main problem is because the CO2 is used for the blowback action. You can see how stiff that slide is, right? So to blow back the slide, it needs a lot of gas. So when the pressure is high, it blows back the slide and gives you the powerful shot at the same time. But more gas will be consumed in the blowback feature too. So that's the problem, right? It's more powerful, but in 9 shots, you're down to like from 4.8 joules all the way down to like 2.2 joules in 9 shot, only 9 shot, okay? And then as I shoot more, it just goes around the 2.1 or 2 joules or so. And then if you let the CO2 warm up, like put the gun down and come back after like 5 minutes, pick the gun up, it'll shoot about 250, 260 or so, and then it will die down again. So basically, temperature is a big factor here, and also the CO2 just get cold very, very fast. So you cannot expect this gun to shoot max at like 4.8 joules and then keep shooting 4 joules. It's not going to do that. Okay, so I'm just trying to tweak around the gun more and find a sweet spot so you can have like a good power and in balance of maybe like 1 meg of shot with 1 second per shot and keep getting that kind of power all the time. That is the thing I want to achieve with this gun soon. So right now it's shoot as maximum of 4.8 joules and then it will go down to 2.2 joules. Okay, but 2.2 joules is also very powerful, right? Like the original setting is only 1.1. Okay, and also one thing to note is that when you turn that velocity hold too much, I tried once, okay, I turned too much, it's not going to work. You will see, first of all, you will see the first shot, it's going to give you very low power, like 200 FPS or so. And then it will keep on going very low to like 190, 170, and so on with rubber balls. And then it will stop cycling. So you need to cock the gun and then shoot again. So that means not enough air is going in there, okay? And then you're like, hey, it's not working, how come? The problem is because the pressure, when you adjust the velocity adjustment screw, the pressure is getting up and up and up and up and higher up, but the hammer spring is not strong enough to knock open the valve. So because of that, you will see the symptom is very low velocity on the first few shots. And that's telling you that you need to tune down that screw. So I tuned down the screw by about like a little bit, and then now it's performing at the peak of 4.8 joules again. So first shot, 318, and then it drops down, and then after that, you get it. And the thing is, because of the construction of the gun and the valve, how it's constructed, after one CO2 is done, your gun is very cold inside, okay? It's not warm anymore. You put the second CO2 in, even though my settings right now is like max at 4.8 joules, okay? You put a new CO2 in and screw it tight. You will see the gun perform at the 2.2 to 2.5 joules too. Because the inside is too cold, it cannot go higher anymore. You need to give time for the gun to warm up and get back to normal temperature in order to see that high power again. So one thing to know here is you cannot get a lot of power out of these guns. Okay, now let's talk about the type of ammunition you can use. You can use paintball, powder balls, rubber balls, or what we call pepper balls and mini bricker balls. Okay, so these are the RAV4 rubber balls. They are very hard rubber, like you cannot really squeeze it. It's hard. So if you get shot by one of these at like 2 point something joules, it's going to hurt, okay? But of course, at 1.1 joules, it's just going to sting you. But if you tune the gun up okay, and you shoot 4.8 joules, it's going to give you a bad bruise or maybe bleeding, okay? So these are hard rubber balls. Okay, RAV4 stated that the gun shoots 250 FPS with paint. That's about 1 point something joules. So below 2 joules mark, if you shoot with these, it's not going to like kill you or something. It's not really bad. Okay, you feel a sting. But over 2 joules, it's going to hurt. Okay, these right here, I'm going to show you. These are 43 cal, they're not paint, okay? These are hard, I don't know what's inside, but it's called mini bricker balls. The big bricker balls from AutonomyBuy.com, so it's like that big, okay? This is the mini bricker. So they are rubber coated, and inside, I don't know what it is, maybe glass, maybe whatever, I don't know. And these are 1.5 grams each, compared to the rubber is 1 gram. Paintballs are 0.5 grams. And here we got some powder balls. Okay? These powder balls are 3.5 grams too. Pepper balls, the same thing, just like that one, just like this, with pepper inside, it's 0.6 grams. So if you take that into consideration, if you shoot at 200 FPS with rubber balls, with the paint or powder ball, you will see 250. Do you see? So that's the thing, okay? So if RAV4 measure the FPS with paint or like super light paint, they say, okay, 250 FPS, that's good. When the gun is shooting as the best performance, the most powerful shot is 250. Good. And then they sell it to you right away. But then they won't stand there and test 2 mags or 3 mags of it, right? They'll shoot 1 mag and then they'll take the steel tool out and that's it. So with rubber balls, if you shoot at the factory setting, it's going to go below 200 FPS and you'll get a very weak gun like that. So conclusion is the pistol is very nice for a training weapon. For self-defense weapon, realism part is very good. Not bad. The problem is the power is not very good. And especially in cold temperature, it's not going to work very well. Because like even in at room temperature right now, I tune it up to the high power and I shoot 1 meg. It like the FPS go down from 4.8 joules all the way down to 2.2 joules already. And imagine that you're in a colder situation, shooting fast, 1 meg of shot of 9 rounds, it will die all the way down like half the power. So power wise, it's not very good. But you can use this gun as a pepper ball launcher. So if you use this gun with pepper balls, load it up with a bunch of pepper balls, okay, it doesn't require a lot of force or like energy to do the job. So if you have 9 rounds of 43 caliber pepper rounds, you can basically empty the 9 pepper rounds. It's going to break, and those rounds are going to cause a lot of problems for the guy, right? Like they're going to cough their lungs off. So after 9 rounds of pepper, you might as well just use your fist or kick the guy, whatever. But it's going to work for self-defense only if you load it up with pepper. Maybe load it up with a few, like 1 or 2 of these mini bricker balls first. So it gives you a combo of little bit of impact, like pain, and then the pepper that actually do the job for you. So that's the only thing I can think of that can work in self-defense with this gun. For power, you will need a Tiberius T8.1 because this thing, when tuned right, it goes to 32 joules or 30 joules average, and it's extremely powerful. Compared to this, the most powerful is only 4.8 joules, and it will go all the way down, so the 4.8 is not guaranteed. And so basically you can say this thing is around 2 to 3 joules kind of range maximum. Can't do more than that. So imagine that. That's like 10 times the power. I know that thing is bulky, but it's still, okay? Power is power. So that's it for today's review, and hope you guys like it. Just to end the video, you can see that the gun fits perfectly in a concealed carry holster like this. The UTG waistband, like you can clip it inside your pants kind of holster. So it fits perfectly. It's a very compact size pistol. So for for people who think that they can use this for self-defense, my advice is you should try a Type A T8.1 for the power kind of thing. If you really need to use this, load it up with pepper, and that's the only chance you can use it for self-defense. Impact, I don't really think so. Anyway, so thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe and like. Bye-bye!